Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 98 for Tuesday the 23rd of November 2021. I'm your host Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
Nick Fights back from the worst ever man cold in history.
Nice. And Sensei Switch to piss off your eardrums a little bit.
Awesome.
I will say I apologise for the quality of my mic. I've heard it back. I will need to sort it out. It's about as much fun as getting fucked in the ear by a mandrill, I imagine.
It sounds alright to me, mate. You sound fine to me at the moment.
Alright. Now it sounds like clunky and like as though something's like a jumping bean or something's leaping around in the mic.
Yeah, it was a little bit on that music episode, but it wasn't all the time, I don't recall, so...
Fair enough.
Anyway, just talking about that, last week on Thursday, we recorded our epic music special. It is a Patreon exclusive episode, but it is a freaking long episode. So if you are a Patreon, you are super lucky, because this episode clocks in at 4 hours and 43 minutes and 57 seconds. So 4 hours, 4:45 to round it. That's a long old episode. Absolutely loved recording that episode. I had a lot of fun editing it as well, because it took me 3 days of editing. I only managed to get it online late this afternoon, and literally Friday, Saturday, and most of today was spent editing that bastard. I was just finding the tracks and putting them in at the right place and blah blah blah. It took ages, but it was well worth it in the end. So that's really, really good. So if you want to listen to that, sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/360gamercast. It is definitely one of the best episodes we've done. We're still trying to track down the original music special that we did when we were Mojo, but we still can't find it. But this is definitely up there. There was myself, Darren and Stunty on that episode, and we all chose epic tracks from a massively diverse variation of video game franchises. So there's a little bit of everything in there to suit everyone's tastes. Again, I absolutely loved that episode
as well.
Yeah, so we had our stuff, some of the guys, the hosts who weren't on the episode submitted some tracks as well, which was really, really good. And then obviously all the Patreons who submit the tracks, thank you very much for all of those. I managed to get all of your tracks in, which was awesome, and gave you a shout out. I'm hoping this show gets us a few more Patrons. We've already had an extra one today, so a big thank you to Darkest Frost for joining the Patreon today. He just wanted to listen to the music episode. So that's all good. So yeah, that was an epic episode, and I love doing these specials because it's just something different. It's a lot of fun. Yes, it was a lot of work, but it was well worth it in the end. I just enjoyed listening back to it today before I put it online, and yeah, put a smile on my face for sure.
You get to hear us all talk about things we absolutely love for once.
Yeah, instead of moaning. The grumpy old men just moaning about every freaking game at the minute, it seems like. But yeah, it's something that we're very passionate about. Me and Switch in particular, we're very passionate about music in video games, especially. You know, we've been to a lot of different Distant Worlds concert, which is Final Fantasy, and the Video Games Live as well. So something that we really, really enjoy. Yeah, so that's really, really cool. Won't bang on about it anymore. If you want to listen to that show, it's on the Patreon. And that episode will never make it onto the main feed. And the main reason for that is because licensing is, you know, all the music is fully licensed. I can get away with it on Patreon because it's a private feed, but I cannot get it I won't be able to put it on a public feed ever, because it will just get taken down, especially Spotify. They're super strict. So that's the only way you're going to listen to that show, unfortunately. Yeah, so this is a Patreon episode, but obviously we're going to start off with what we've been playing. But I think because we couldn't live stream it last week because I was having some issues, so I do apologise for that, for those people that do like to watch live. on Twitch, and I finally figured out why the following day. So, as some of you may know, Wes sent me a steering wheel, a Logitech steering wheel. So to use it on the PC, you need this Logitech application on your computer. What I didn't realise is that the application takes control of my Blue Yeti microphone that I use to record
Awesome.
the podcast.
I had that, Webby, I had that. That made everything really quiet and you couldn't hear nothing.
Yes, so that's what was happening. So my voice wasn't being picked up by the recording and streaming software that I use, and I couldn't figure out why. And because I was pushed for time, I just said to Stunty, we'll just record it, because my other software was picking it up fine. And then the next day, I figured it out, and you can mess around with the mic settings in that app, or just turn it off. So I've actually just turned it off this week, because in the music episode, I tried it out using the settings. And in the music episode, when I was listening back, I thought my voice sounded a bit odd, like it was in like this really weird studio, which didn't sound natural at all. So I've just turned it all off for this week. So I hope I sound a little bit better. So I do apologise for that. Because that's the first live stream week we've missed in a long time, which is a little bit upsetting really, because I know some people really like to watch live. I know there's not many of you, but I know a few of you like to watch live and ask questions along the way, which is really, really nice, and say hello. Like Strokey said hello, and he's looking forward to listening to the music special. He is a patron, and Peebs has said hello. So a big hello to you guys. Anyway, so before we get into the Patreon specific part of this episode, as I know we normally start each week with what Darren's been playing, and we do some of his and then cut it off, and then the rest is for Patrons. I want to do something different this week, and I want to talk about Halo before we go on to the Patreon part of the show. And the reason I want to talk about Halo is because in last week's episode, in the news section, I said Halo is rumoured to be coming out the following day, because we recorded live on a Sunday, and then I push it out on the Tuesday. So I was saying, it's rumoured to come out on Monday. Stunty chimed in, no, Microsoft have already come out on Twitter and said that that's a load of bullshit. I was like, all right, well, if I haven't seen that, but if you say so. And then what happens the following day? The game gets launched, doesn't it? And it was such a great surprise. And it got announced. So Microsoft did a video stream, which I'm going to talk about later in the show, in the Patreon part of the show. So apologies to those of you that aren't patrons. But very briefly, Microsoft did a 20-year anniversary video on YouTube. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It was absolutely brilliant. It was way more than I was expecting. Full of nostalgia. The Rock made a return, and everyone loves The Rock. And at the end of... Well, but at the end of that, the live stream, they announced that Halo was launching then. So about an hour after the stream, the game launched. They've called it a beta, but it's actually just the full multiplayer part of the game. So all your progress carries over, your season pass, everything it's basically the game is out. So that was a really nice surprise, to be honest. And since Monday, I don't know about you guys, I haven't been able to stop playing it. It is amazing. It is, for me, the nicest surprise of the year. And I remember because I was part of the closed test, and I enjoyed it then, and I was saying then, this is really good, but it's got a few performance issues, which I hope are ironed out in the main release. But it's a really solid shooter, and it actually, when I played that private test, it really shocked me, because obviously the game had been delayed by a year. It's been plagued by a lot of development problems throughout its development, and I just had very low expectations. And the full game has launched, and there has been a few issues, which I'll get to in a minute, but on the whole, it's been very, very positive. And this game is bringing me back to the old Halo 3 days, which was, Halo 2, Halo 3 were kind of the pinnacle of Halo for multiplayer. It was very popular. A lot of people were playing it. I would look at my friends list on my Xbox 360 or my OG Xbox, and I would see a lot of people all playing it. You know, and it's brought me back to that, because a multiplayer game hasn't come out in a long time, where I've been able to look at my friends list and see a lot of people playing it. And with Halo Infinite, this week, every day, I've been seeing it. There's been regular times this week where when I've looked at my friends list and I've seen over 20 people on my friends list all playing Halo at the same time. And that is so rare. It really is. You know, you think of big launches like your Call of Duties and your Battlefields and stuff like that. Even with those games the last 10 years, I would say, I've not seen that many people at the same time playing the same game. And another thing that it's done within this community as well is it's got people talking again. So throughout this week, I've been gaming with and talking to people in the 360G community who I haven't spoken to in years, literally years, and they've all come back because of this game. And it's just something that I think is really special, because I've been talking to people I haven't spoken to for ages. We're all having a good time, having a laugh in party chat, and no one has said anything super negative about the game. And that is such a rare thing in modern gaming, because you think how many games have released broken this year. This is just a gem. Now, there has been a few issues which don't affect gameplay. So the one thing that people have been complaining about is the season pass. So you can buy a season pass.
Yeah, that's all I've seen people moan about. Yeah, it's the battle pass thing.
Yeah, so you can buy that as £8, £7.50 or something like that for a year and a season. And it's like any season pass, right? It's got 100 levels, and all you unlock is either XP bonuses or, you know, extra armor, like skins for your dude, right? And that's all it is. So it's not, you don't need it, right? It's an optional extra if you want to look a bit different. And because the game is obviously very early, they haven't really tweaked it very well. So they had these. So the only way that you could get the XP to progress the season pass, battle pass, whatever you want to call it, was to do these certain kind of objectives when you're in games, and they actually took away from people playing the game types properly. Because if you know Halo, you get into a game of big team battle, or they've got this other mode, this ranked mode, which is 4v4, which could be like Slayer or another team-based objective like Oddball or holding one of the 3 points or capture the flag or whatever. People weren't playing those game types properly because they were focusing on these other objectives to rank up their season pass, right? So people were complaining about that, and the guys at Halo 343 have listened and have already patched it, right? So so you just get XP towards your season pass for just playing games, which is great, right? So that's been fixed already. I have the season pass. I purchased it with my Bing points. Well, hey, so it's not actually cost me anything. But I don't really even give a fuck about it, because I'm having so much fun just playing the game for what it is. Like everything else to me is secondary. It does have a little bit of a problem with store purchases, though, which again you don't need to do, but they've got this store where you could buy little different armor and weapon skins for real money. So it's like, you know, like any free-to-play game, because the multiplayer is free-to-play even if you don't have Game Pass. They've got to make money somehow, right? So it's all like they've got this store, and you can buy these Halo coins to buy different skins and all that bullshit if you're into all that, which has been off-putting for some, but again, it's an optional extra. You don't need to do that. So, you know, it's up to you, right? But I've been playing it loads this week. I've put in about 20 odd hours or so. So I've played it a lot. I've been playing a lot of big team battle, which I really enjoy. And it's 24 player. So you could get a squad of 12 in, and you can all jump into a public game, big team battle, which is awesome. There's only 3 maps though. So you do, you know, I have already started to get a little bit bored of the rotation. So I'm hoping that in the future they do release more maps or remaster some of the old classic maps like Blood Gulch. That's something that I would really like to see in Halo. But the mode that we seem to be playing the most is the ranked mode. So there's two versions of this. You've got ranked mode for 4-player. You can jump in on your own if you want. That's cool. You just get chucked in with a bunch of randoms. But we've regularly been having 4 people or more in a party playing at the same time anyway. So it hasn't really been an issue for us. Or there's another one called ranked duos. So if there's only 2 of you, you get into ranked duos, but it's still 4v4, but obviously you're with a couple of randoms, but it's ranked separately to the other ranked mode. There's quite a few maps on that. I think there's about 6 maps for that, and most of them are really, really good. There's one in particular that I wanted to highlight, which it's really beautiful. It's set in like this like cyberpunky type town. Yeah, it's called Streets, the map is. And it's full of like the neon lights, etc. You know, like the neon signs.
It's like ODST inspired to a degree.
That's correct.
You kind of went through suburban zones, didn't you?
Yeah, so it's very much like that. It's very beautiful, just running around that, and we're just really enjoying it. But it's all that classic gameplay, but they've brought it back into the modern era in a very unique way. So like the old Halos, you can't aim down your weapons at all, right? In this, you can't aim down the top of the weapons, but you can do a zoom in on every single weapon, and they've done it in such a way that where it works, because obviously when you're playing Halo, it's like you've got a visor over your eyes, and that's how you see like how much ammo you've got, how much shield you've got, etc. like that. So it zooms in, but it's like the visor is zooming in, and it just works really, really well. So it feels very modern. Every character can sprint, which is great. And also what I'm really liking about it is you feel like everyone's on an even playing field, because there's none of this bullshit like the Call of Duties where you choose your own loadout or whatever. Everyone starts with the same weapons, and you got to learn the maps because all the maps have different weapons just scattered throughout them in different areas. So obviously you've got the power weapon kind of in the middle where anyone can get to, right? Like the rocket launcher, or the sniper rifles in certain areas, etc. So it's just that classic Halo, learning the maps, know where your weapons are. And we've had some epic battles this week, especially with the capture the flag game mode. It's just been absolutely hilarious. And it's just nice to go back to that old school kind of versus gameplay, because there's something that I think has been missing for a long time. Those classic game modes like capture the flag, oddball, even Team Slayer or whatever. Because within the last, 6-7 years or whatever, there's been a big push for battle royale games or game modes in every single game, and I think a lot of people, including myself, have got a little bit sick of that, and we're just been clamoring for the glory days, the old days, those old classic game modes. And Halo has really brought that back in such a great way. I mean, the map designs are absolutely fantastic, the gameplay is fantastic. I mean, this game, it's fast, it's fluid, it's smooth, it looks gorgeous, the sounds are just absolutely stunning. I mean, this game is this has been such a highlight for me this year for multiplayer, because I've been playing, I've played the new Battlefield. I'm not impressed. I'm not into Call of Duty anymore. So this has kind of been the saving grace, and I'm just stunned at how good this is. I've played this on both my PC and my Xbox. It looks gorgeous on both. It runs smooth on both. It works great with a controller. It works great with a keyboard and mouse. It's just done so well. I have nothing really negative to say about it, because it's just so polished, and it's just, as I say, it's just a nice treat for a game to come out early, of all things. I know it got delayed by a year last year, but it's come out earlier than its new release date, right? And it's working as it should, right? And it's just, I'm having so much fun on it, and it's just great to see the community back talking to each other, looking at my friends list. there's still like I just get a little smile on my face when I look at my friends list and see loads of people playing the same game. And I'm just like, yes, I'm going to get and jump in a game with this person. I'm going to get in a party chat. We're going to have a fun time. It's bloody awesome. Have either of you guys played it?
No.
Oh, okay, Darren. I didn't think you would. What about you, Nicky?
I haven't got hard drive space, and I was never a massive. Like, I played Halo multiplayer, but I was never a massive fan of it.
Well, you're not really a multiplayer versus FPS kind of guy, anyway, are you?
No,
so I wasn't really expecting you to play it.
Died out. I mean, I play it a lot. I used to play it a lot in split screen, like on the couch with my mates.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But I was more of a fire-team guy when it came to the multiplayer aspect of Halo or the campaign.
That's cool, man. What about you, Nicky?
Yeah, I played 2 games and I uninstalled it because of shit.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I love the Halo campaigns over the years, but I've never been a lover of the multiplayer because it's got a touch of the time splitters about it where, maybe it's just, maybe I'm just crap at games, which could be true. But exactly the same as where, I'll find someone in this, just unload the whole gun into their back, and then whilst I'm reloading, they just turn around and seem to shoot me once and I die, and I'm like, oh, it's one of those types of games, is it? And I think I had about 2 or 3 games, exactly the same stuff was happening all the time. So I was like, nah. But then I didn't mind Halo 5 multiplayer, but that was apparently like COD. So maybe that's why I preferred that one and not the rest.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a bit of a steep learning curve with Halo because obviously you've got your overshield, so it can take a whole clip to destroy someone, but it's learning, right? It's like in a lot of first-person shooters, like you use one weapon to get their shields down, and then you quickly switch to like the pistol just to pop a few more shots off to down them. So I find if I've got the assault rifle and the pistol, I'll use the assault rifle just to try and get the shield down, and then I'll quickly switch to the pistol or get close to them and punch them to down them, you see. So it's all these little tricks you've got to use, or just chuck a couple of grenades at them or whatever, because Halo's always been like that, right? The Spartans are all they're quite spongy, right? And it's because of the overshield. And that's just something you got to expect from a Halo. That's how they've always been. That isn't going to change because that would be changing the gameplay mechanics completely, right? So it's just knowing the best ways to take down your opponents. And yeah, I admit it. I mean, I've been frustrated at times. 100% I have. But it hasn't stopped me from really enjoying the game. And to be honest, there's no other. Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the campaign, Nicky. I've watched a few videos this week, a couple of preview videos, and it looks stunning, completely open world. Again, I am disappointed though that the co-op's been delayed. I can see why. They wanted to concentrate on the multiplayer. But for me, as someone who has played every single Halo, especially the originals, to death, especially Halo 2 and 3, this has really brought it back to that era of Halo games, and that's what I love about it. Like, I feel like I'm in my 20s again playing Halo on the old Xbox 360, and it's just such a joy to have that feeling again, because after Halo 3, it kind of the multiplayer kind of lost its way, and I think they've listened to the community, gone back to that core gameplay, and it's worked. And as I say, I'm absolutely loving it, and it goes to show that a lot of the people on my friends list are loving it. The community in general, man, it's just such a great game. I can't stop, and I can see why it's not everyone's cup of tea, because not everyone likes those style of shooters, right? I mean, some people like something that's a little bit more realistic, or something like Call of Duty where the time to kill is a lot lower. Just everyone likes different things, right? And that's fine. But for a true Halo fan like myself, this is just fucking amazing. It really is.
At least you finally got a nice love letter from people who actually obviously give a shit about what they make with that game. on its anniversary as well, and like free for everyone.
Yeah, and it's just nice, and I'll tell you
what,
it
works. And it works.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that as well. Like,
I know, and
games that have come out recently.
I mean, I've been so sick this year of sounding like a moany old man. I really have, and people have sent me messages and stuff going, "You need to stop moaning." And it's not the fact that I'm a moany old git. Well, I am a little bit. I know that, but the problem is, right? I love video games, like all of us do who are on the show, and all you people who are listening, right? You love video games, right? And we all don't, and we all don't like the same things. If we did, the world would be a boring place. But I think we can all agree that the last few years, or the last gen, shall we say, has been very frustrating with games coming out broken or unfinished, and then relying on patches going on for months and months to fix these games. And the reason why I get frustrated with it is I've spent my hard-earned money on your game and it's fucking broken. Not happy at all. And the other thing is I'm passionate about playing games and I want them to just work and I just want to enjoy myself. So if something isn't right, I'm going to fucking call it out and bitch about it like a moany old man. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. So it's just really nice to be positive.
If there isn't a backlash for things not working properly to a degree, then no one would actually ever change.
That's correct.
And they'd get away with it and just carry on doing that. But it's sometimes nice that they do get sort of like caught out, and more companies are pushing stuff back. Like more and more, you see it happening. Like even a game 2 weeks away from its release date suddenly gets pushed back even further.
Yeah, and you know what? Because 343 showed off Halo last year. The backlash online was this looks awful, and they delayed it by a year. And look at what that year has done to this game. And I'm going to talk about Battlefield a bit later on in the show, but that is a game that should have been delayed. I'm just going to say that right now.
Well, you said that like when the beta first
I know.
Up, like a while back. I was like, this doesn't bode well. We all know what Battlefields are like on launch.
Yeah.
Like the last lot.
Delayed a month anyway.
It should have been delayed a lot longer, mate. And I'll tell you why later. My game's played. Right, anything else you want to mention on Halo? No? Okay.
Looks great.
Okay then, well, I really wanted to get that conversation out for everybody to listen to, because obviously Halo was a nice surprise. We've all been playing it in the community. Most of us, apart from Nikki, have been absolutely loving the game. So we are doing a gamer night on it on Friday. Friday just gone, we did Forza Friday and Forza Horizon, and that was very successful. Thank you for everybody who turned up for that. That was awesome. So this upcoming Friday, we're going to be doing Halo Infinite. So be there or be square. I'm hoping to get a full 12 for a full team on Big Team Battle. That would be amazing. So if you can turn up, that would be great. So that is the portion of the show that is for everybody. The rest of the show this week is for the Patreons, you lucky, lucky people. We do have a lot to talk about. So if you want to listen to the rest of this week's show and you're not a Patreon, you can either spend your evening on a Sunday listening live, like the lovely people who are listening live on Twitch now, or you can subscribe to the Patreon and listen whenever you like. Just head to patreon.com/360gamercast. From as little as £5 a month, you get an episode every single week of the year, and you also get every single special episode, like this week's music special, which was awesome. It's super easy to do. Once you're signed up, you can even generate an RSS feed, pump it into the podcast app of your choice, apart from Spotify, and that's it. And that's it. Done. Like the latest episodes just automatically turn up on your feed. There's no other messing around. It's super easy, and you don't even need this feed to listen to it. Just need the Patreon feed. You get everything. Cool. So that's that portion done.